welcome you to today's lesson. My name is Paul. So for you today, we have science for basic 6. And I believe by the end of the lesson, I know very well that at the end of the lesson, you'll be so happy. Today we are going to learn something. We are going to learn something so interesting, so pay attention. Let's look at the topic. So what's the topic? The topic is here. Conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. These are the things that we are going to learn. Conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So today's lesson is about conductors. I know you know what a conductor is. If you don't know, don't worry. I'm here for you. What about semiconductors? Do you know them? You don't know? Relax. I'll help you, eh? What about insulators? That one you don't know. Don't worry at all. That is why I'm standing here. So I'll make sure you understand it. So pay attention. What I need from you is your attention. So pay attention. Look on the board. If you have questions, feel free. Go to the comment section and ask your questions. But remember to write your name at the comment section. I want to know you and where you are watching me from. Now let's look at the keywords. The first word is conductors. Conductors. We have semiconductors. Insulator. Partially. So these are the words that we are going to find. These are the words that we are going to find. Because these words are the main thing. I don't want to just worry you. Let's look at it. You understand them. Don't worry. So now, the materials we see around us have special properties that make them different. Some of the materials allow electricity and heat to pass through or travel through them. Some materials do not allow heat or electricity to pass through them at all. These materials are grouped into conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So today's lesson is simple, just simple. We are looking at materials. So look around. Just mention whatever that you can see. The things that you can see, the materials that we have in our environment, we group them into 3. Conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. Now, why do we have these 3 groups? So you take each material and check it. We check it by heat and electricity. If electricity can pass through that material, if electricity can freely flow through, pass through, travel through that material, it means that material is a conductor. Not only electricity, heat. If heat can pass through that material, it means that material is a conductor. Now, if you have a material and electricity cannot pass through at all, heat too cannot travel through at all, it means that material is an insulator. There is another group of materials. That group, we call them semi-conductors. So we have seen conductors and insulators. The conductors are the materials that allow heat or electricity to pass through them. Insulators are materials that do not allow heat or electricity to pass through them. Now, what about semiconductors? These materials too, sometimes they allow heat to pass through them. Sometimes too, they do not allow heat to pass through them. Sometimes they allow electricity to pass through them. Sometimes too, they do not allow electricity to pass through them. So these materials are called semiconductors. Electricity passes through them, but it is not as good as conductors, and it is not as poor as insulators. Okay, now let's continue. Let's look at conductors. They are materials that allow electricity and heat to pass through them easily. Examples of conductors are copper, iron, silver, graphite, water, mercury, and aluminium. So these are examples of conductors, materials that allow electricity and heat to pass through them. So if you are asked to define what a conductor is a material that allows heat and electricity to pass through them easily. Okay, so that is what conductor is. Now let's look at examples of conductors. So materials that allow heat to pass through them, materials that allow electricity to pass through them. We have one, copper, iron, silver, graphite. We have water, we have mercury, we have aluminium. These are examples. Now objects made from metals are also conductors, such as keys, iron nails, spoons, knives, and pins. So these are pictures. Heat can pass through this, electricity can pass through it. This one, heat can pass through it, electricity can pass through it. This one too, heat can pass through, electricity too can pass through. Knife, heat can pass through, electricity can pass through. That is why they are called conductors. If you hold this side of the key and this side, you put it in fire, after some time you see the heat will pass through and then come to where your fingers or your hands are. It means that if this side you apply heat, it will pass through, go to the other end or all other parts. That is why we say this is what? A conductor, because heat can travel through, heat can pass through. The same thing applies to electricity. If you hold this side and this side, you use it to connect your phone or plug your phone, you get electric shock because electricity can pass through. The same thing happens to nail, spoon. If you are preparing stew and you are using spoon, just hold this side and let this side be in the soup. After some time, the heat will pass through and you feel the heat at where your hands are. It means heat passes through spoons. Though rubber spoons are there, wood spoons and other things, but if you have silver spoon and these metal ones, heat can pass through. Now, the same thing applies to knife. That is why even we have handle here, because if there is no handle, you feel the heat or electricity, it can easily pass through and then harm you. So always have to know that because this is metal, heat can pass through, electricity can pass through. We learned that metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So all these, they are metals. All these are metals. Okay, so if you are asked to define conductors, I believe you can do that. If you are asked to give examples of conductors, I know you can do that. And objects that are good conductors of heat and electricity. So these are objects. Let's look at the next one. Insulators. They are materials that do not allow electricity and heat to pass through them at all. This group of materials, they don't allow electricity to pass through them. They don't allow heat to pass through them. We call them insulators. Examples. Examples of insulators are plastic. We have wood, glass, rubber, paper, stone, and leather. Insulators are used to cover wires to prevent electric shock. So these are examples of insulators. They are insulators because heat cannot pass through them. They are insulators because heat cannot pass through them. So we have wood. Yes, as for wood, this side can bend and you can still hold the other end. You will not feel any heat. Let's come to glass. Glass too is an insulator because heat cannot pass through, electricity cannot pass through. The next one is rubber. Rubbers too are insulators because heat cannot pass through, electricity cannot pass through. And then we have paper. Paper, heat cannot pass through paper, electricity too cannot pass through paper. Okay, so these are examples of insulators. My question is, why do we cover cables, electric wires, with insulators? The reason is that the insulator will prevent the electric power from passing through to shock other people or to shock the user or those who will touch it. So you see, insulators, they don't allow electricity to pass through them. That is why they are used to cover wires. We use them to cover wires to prevent electric shock. Okay. The next group of materials, they are called semiconductors. So we have seen conductors, insulators. The third one is semiconductors. So they are materials that conduct electricity partially. They have properties of both conductors and insulators. Examples are silicon, germanium, diode, we have lead, and then resistors. Now these are the pictures. This is silicon. This is silicon. This is germanium. We have lead here, then we have resistor. So these are examples of semiconductors. For semiconductors, they don't allow electricity to pass through freely. No. They don't allow heat to pass through freely. So they are made of conductors and insulators. So conductors and insulators that have been put together. So sometimes they allow electricity to pass through, sometimes the electricity is not allowed to pass through. That is why they are called semiconductors. They don't fully allow electricity to pass through. So they are not good conductors and they are not poor conductors. Okay, so they are semi, right? Okay. Now let's look at this. Activity 1. The focus is to classify materials into conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. Materials needed: spoon, foil, drinking straw, rubber band, piece of wood, glass, leather. We have nail, lead, diode, coin, paper, and plastic material. How to go about it? So construct a simple electrical circuit using a bulb, battery, and a connecting wire. Use the materials to close the circuit and indicate which one allows the bulb to give light out. The next one is that write the name of the materials that are conductors, semiconductors, and insulators after using each of them. So in conclusion, the conductors are spoon, foil, nail, and coin. Insulators are drinking straw, piece of wood, glass, leather, paper, and plastic material. The semiconductors are lead and diode. So this is what you should know. These are examples of conductors, examples of semiconductors, and then examples of insulators. Okay. Why electrical wires are coated with plastics? So if you see wire, always they are covered, they are coated. So they are covered with what? Plastic or rubber. Why do we cover them with plastic or rubber? Or why do we coat them with rubber or plastic? Now the reasons are here. 1, they prevent electrocution. So electrocution, we are talking about injury or death by electric shock. So if you get electric shock, there are 2 things involved. Either you die or you sustain injury, and we call it the 2, we describe it as electrocution. So electrocution is a shock from electricity. Okay. The next one, it protects the wires from corrosion. So sometimes, wires, they are metals. They are metals. So for it not to be rust you need to cover them. You know, rusting happens as a result of air and moisture. So if they are covered, air and moisture will not have access to them, cannot enter and cause it to what? Rust. Okay. The third one, they keep wires from touching each other, which could cause overheating or fire. So if the wires are not covered and they touch themselves, what do you think will happen? It will spike fire. So that is why they are what? Covered. That is why they are covered. Okay. The fourth one, which happens to be the last one here, they make handling easy and safe. So if they are covered with plastics, with an insulator, it helps us to handle them. When you are working with them too, you feel safe and secured. Okay, so that is what we have learned today. Today we have learned about 3 things: conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. And all these things that we have looked at, we can only group materials into these groups, or we can put these materials into this group because of one thing, or because of 2 things: whether that material heat can pass through or electricity can pass through. So that determines whether it's an insulator, conductor, or semiconductor. Materials that heat can pass through easily, electricity can pass through easily, we say they are conductors, they are good conductors. So we put them at one side. Materials that do not allow electricity, heat to pass through them at all, those materials are insulators. And there is another group of material called semiconductors. For them, they do not allow electricity to pass through easily, freely like that. No. They do not allow heat to pass through easily and freely like that. So semiconductors, they are partial conductors of heat and electricity. They are not poor conductors of heat and electricity, and they are not good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, so that is what we have learned. We have looked at examples of all these ones. Now let's go to exercises. We have exercise 1 here, exercise 2 is here, exercise 3 is here, exercise 4, and then we have home assignments. So take your time and do this work for me. I believe you have understood it. Take your time, read the book, watch the video again. Your teachers are there, your parents are there. If you have questions, go to them, they will help you. We have science textbook. It comes with a video lesson. So amazing. So make sure you get a copy. The title is Kokromoti series. If you need copies, call the number here. Our videos are on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. You can go there and then watch our videos. Tell your friends that they should come, or they should get copies of our books. They should go to YouTube, TikTok, search for Kokromoti series, and then watch our video lesson. In fact, what we are teaching you is what your teachers are teaching you in the classroom. So you learn from your teachers, you come here to learn too. If you have questions, feel free, go to your teachers. They will help you. Your parents are there, they will help you. You can also reach out to me. I'll also help you. My name is Paul Williams Ofori. Bye-bye.